Hey everyone, I thought I would make a little red and white peppermint pinwheel and then show you how to use it on a bead. So I'll start with the same process that I used to make murrine, although I guess in a sense this is a really simple murrine. I've got these heavier steel punties that my husband made out of some tubing. And I will use that to build up a blob of white, a little like mini marshmallow of white glass. So first I heat up the steel till it's glowing. So there, nice cherry red. Then I heat up the glass, starting up high in the flame so that it doesn't shatter because I heated it too fast. Soft glass will shatter if you heat it too fast. It's not soft like to the touch. We call this particular formulation of glass soft glass because it's soft in the flame. It moves really fast in the flame. Okay, so now I'm going to start to apply glass to the tip of the metal. You can't see anything in the flame really because of the soda flare coming off of the glass. I actually can. That's what the glasses I'm doing do. They have like a purple tint to them. They're called didymium glasses, and they allow me, they cut out that wavelength so that I can see in the flame. See, there's a little bit of clear built up. Someday when I'm rich, I'll buy a little clip-on didymium filter for my phone camera, so you guys can see in the flame better. It'd be really nice. So as I'm building up this blob, I have to make sure that the metal doesn't cool too much and let go of it. When you're building up a big blob of glass, every once in a while you don't pay attention, close enough attention, and then like suddenly there's a blob of mostly molten glass just like falling onto your desk. We're getting a little bigger now. Not quite there though. Give me a second. All right, we'll see if that's enough. There's my blob. Now let me shape it up a little. Oh God, I've gone benchmark. There's my mashers. These are my ever valuable mashers. One thing I like about lamp working is that the tool names are usually pretty logical and straightforward. Actually buy these as mashers, that's what they're called. All right, so I'm getting this all warm enough to move so that I can shape it up. All right. All right, there's a little mini marshmallow. Now I'm gonna put some red on it. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna be like, I should not have hummed along. Now I need to make a new video. Anyway. It's not really voluntary. Yes, I do sing in the car. All right, so there's my 3 lines of red, which as you can see when it's hot is black. This is super unhandy if you happen to like the color combination of red and black, because that means that as you're working with it, you can't see the red. All right, now I melt all of that together so that those aren't like ridges that stand out. See, right now they're ridges. I want it all to be molten and the same temperature so I can work it. This is not something you want to hurry, because you want it to be, okay, if you apply heat quickly, then you're dumping a lot of heat into the surface, and then the surface gets really molten before the heat migrates into the interior of the glass. But what I want is for all of the glass to be moving at more or less the same rate, so that it will move evenly, okay? So I don't want to heat it up too fast. All right, there's my blob. If I let it cool a little, you can see the stripes again. There we go. See them? All right, now I'm going to reheat it just a little bit. I'm going to take my hollow steel chopstick. The hollow steel chopstick is nice because hot metal grabs hold of the glass, but cool metal lets go of the glass or doesn't stick to it. So I can heat this up really fast because it's hollow, use it to shape the glass, and then it will cool really fast and let go. So I think the super cheap hollow metal chopstick, you know, in a 12-pack is one of the handiest tools I have, and probably one of my most used. See, cherry red in no time at all compared to the heavier tube. I grab hold of the end like so. I reheat a little bit to make sure it's all the same temperature. Then I give it just a second for the surface to cool and the inside to heat up, because I don't want this to be super thin. And then I pull very slightly and twist so that I get a thin but not too thin twist. That's about as thin as I want it, so I don't want to go too fast. And then you can twist and pull a little harder as the glass sets up, of course. And there you go. And as it cools, it will become red again. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. All right, so after it cools, we get this, which has a... Okay, focus on it. You can do this, I believe in you. No. Okay, well, anyway, you get the idea. And it just came right off, right? Because this is cool now. So I set that aside. Now, I take my little tile nippers and I can make little rounds out of this. You have to be a little conscious that you don't launch them across the studio. I mean, too often. You're going to do it sometimes. So I'm just going to clip a few of those and show you what that looks like. And then I stand those on their ends so that I can pick them up with my tweezers when I need them in a minute here. And since I haven't cleaned up the last round of murrine I was using, they're getting all mixed in there. So, yeah, that's my bad. All right, now I'll make a quick little white bead so you can see how this would work. Ah, yes. That's why it's so bright. I am paying attention and can be trusted with fire. All right, white glass. Mandrel. Gotta heat up the mandrel in the white glass. You wanna heat up the mandrel in it until it's cherry red because, again, remember, hot glass sticks to hot metal. And then you keep the mandrel just below the flame and heat up your glass, starting at the tip and moving down slowly so you don't blow up your glass. Did I just say you keep your glass below the flame? You keep your mandrel below the flame. You get a little blob of molten white. Then you start wrapping that around the mandrel, twisting the mandrel away from you. For some reason, the first instinct for lots and lots of beginners is to twist the mandrel towards you, but that actually becomes inconvenient quickly, and then you end up the rod ends up sticking to the bead pretty often because if you're twisting the glass towards you, that means that the cold part of the rod is where you're twisting from instead of the hot part of the rod, if that makes any sense. Okay, so I set it aside my white glass. Now I've got this blob. Now I'm gonna heat it evenly to round it out. I hate this slip that I'm using with my whole heart. It bubbles. So right now I'm dealing with the fact that there are huge bubbles in my glass. I've already ordered a new slip, but it hasn't come yet. Okay. Trying to round that out. Nope. Resisting urge to hum along with music. Frankly, that's lopsided and a crappy beat, but there we go. It's good enough for our purposes, which is demonstration, right? So there you go, there's the bead. And now that it's set up, I can stop worrying about it so much, and I take my tungsten tip tweezers. You can use cheap tweezers for this like anything, but the tungsten tip ones are nice because the tungsten doesn't conduct heat as well. So I treated myself to those a while back, and I love them. All right, so now I've got my, that happens. Now I've got my next little piece of murrine, and I'm gonna very carefully heat it up in the tip of the flame. I don't wanna melt it, and I don't wanna get the tweezers in the flame if I can help it. Slowly bring it down until it gets a little bit of a glow to it. And I heat a spot on the bead and I stick them together. All right. Now I take my stainless steel pick. I heat this up, let it get a bit of a glow, and then I push right in the middle of that twist. Heat it up again. Flatten it a little. And then once I let that cool, you'll be able to see, look at that. Cute little pinwheel. All right. And then I just do that a couple more times, a few more times, evenly around the bead. Heat at the top. I also have to keep this bead warm, so I flash it in the flame periodically. Let's take the next one down. Heat it up, let it get all molten. Carefully line up. Poke. Yeah, there we go. Flatten. All right. Now we have a series of cute pinwheels. And I thought because I have it, why not add a little red squiggle? So I've turned my flame way down so that I can control the heat on this tiny little rod here. And stick it down, and then I try to find the sweet spot right at the edge of the flame where the glass is just molten. All right. Step 1. Oh my God, is this a power metal version of Crazy Frog? Sorry, I know you can't hear it. Bing, bing. Doodly-doo. Now I'm gonna melt that down in a little bit. It can't stand out too much or else it might pop off or get knocked off later on. But I don't think I'll melt it down smooth. I think I'll melt it down part way. All right, I'm gonna turn off the flame because I think we're done here. Remember, that's all red. It'll be red when it comes out of the kiln. There it is. Now I pop it in the kiln.